business partnerships and how to do it right. There is a good way to do it. Roll it. Alright, today we're talking about partnerships and picking the right partner. And sometimes you don't really have a choice. You kind of came up with an idea with somebody else and you started working with that person, but then you realize, maybe it wasn't the best person to do this partnership with, but the reality is you both had the idea and you had to move forward. Now, if you didn't and you had an idea, but then somebody started brainstorming with you and they want in, you still have that choice, and you need to be very, 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 very careful with picking the right partner. Trust me on this, I've gone burned before. I know many people that have gone burned before, and if you're in a startup space, if you haven't gone burned, you lucked out, because one of the biggest reasons startups fail is because of the partners. So when you're looking at how you're going to proceed, you got to look at what is the best advantage for you, but more necessarily for the idea. Now, if you're looking at yourself and you're saying to yourself, hey, I'm really good at this, then your partner should be good at these other things you're not good at. If you came up with the idea together, then you guys have to look at, all right, we have this idea, we're good at all these different things, what are we missing? Who do we need to bring in to either A, be a partner, or B, to supplement us, and we pay them on those characteristics and those requirements and those needs, the specialties that we need as a person involved in this. So we look at those things and we make a focus and we make a partnership agreement that will make sure things are met. And be careful with this, because if you don't, you'll see in a bit in this email, you'll start feeling like you're doing most of the work. And when you start feeling like that, it starts to take out that oomph you had for this idea. Startups happen like this. And what ends up happening is you get involved with somebody, you don't make the proper agreement, and all of a sudden they still feel like they're entitled, and you start fighting when they stop trying. Or it could be you that stopped trying and the other person brought in on this idea, wants to keep going on the idea, but then you don't want to continue. At the end of the day, what is the best way and the route to take it is to have in your agreement just success criteria that you're going to be able to say, hey, did you complete this on time? Have you been completing it on time? At what point is the exit coming, and what is your exit strategy? That should be in the agreement. If you go to a lawyer to create this agreement, it's going to be very long, and inside there will be subcategories of this, and you'll be able to go through that with the lawyer, and both partners should agree on it. If the partner isn't agreeing on it, well, that's a red flag right away. And I've had partners that did this. They're like, well, what if they get sick? And you're like, okay, we'll put it in the clause, no problem. And they're like, yeah, but what if this or what if that? And then you start processing and you're like, why are they so against this? It's almost like they're worried that they're gonna have to work hard, and then, halfway through they're gonna be like, well, you know what? I'm not seeing any results, but if you succeed, I still have my share. So really focus on understanding where your business partner is like that. Here's the email. Hi, Nikos. Thanks for the great advice. I downloaded your book and have a question regarding business partners. I started my business with my boyfriend and we have since broken up. It was an okay split and we are continuing to work together. Awesome. However, she goes on. He keeps egging me on to spend more money, but he has not put the effort in as he once did. I'm feeling overwhelmed. I'm not sure if it is me thinking of it or if it is what it is happening. Is it normal to question all of this? What would you recommend I do? All right, so in this situation, you're clearly in that spot where somebody's kind of given up, but they still want to see it succeed, but they're not putting in the effort. My go-to in that situation is to address that agreement we had. Now, if that agreement wasn't made, then we go back and we set some new standards, and you say to this, for this example, well, I'm willing to put more money in this idea, but you haven't been putting your effort in. I haven't seen what you're doing to equate to the money I'm putting in. So what I want to do in order to put more money in is I want to see this, set up, and you doing it. So if you can meet that over a period of time, then I'll put more money in. But if I'm not going to see that, then I'm not going to put any money in. Now you could phase it out, and you could say these 3 things need to be done every week, every month. We're gonna sit down and assess it together. How many hours did you put in? How much work came out of it? And you assess it as you go, and you put in something he'll agree with that will say, if you meet this, then I will put so much money in, or I'll put so much money in, and if you don't meet it, you will be out. I don't want to be investing money for the both of us when you're not putting in your fair share of time, because clearly you're putting sweat equity in it. And if you're not doing what you're supposed to be doing, then what are we supposed to do? So really think this through on a level of what is your success criteria and what kind of a partner you need to have. And I would step back from all of this, take a weekend and sit down and say, I'm gonna really think it through, and who do I want as a partner? What do I want in there? And then you can take those 3 things out of there and give them to him so he can agree on. Now, if he doesn't want to agree to it, he's probably going to want to pull out somehow and eventually. And that breakup that was okay and you guys are still working together, he may not really appreciate the fact that, you're kind of kicking him out, and he might want to be reimbursed somehow. Be ready to think that through. You know him best. What would he want for him to kind of leave? Now, when you're doing the success criteria, you may bring that up in there as well and be like, well, what do I get? I've done so much work for you. And that's where you'd have to come up with something along those lines. Sometimes people want just like being, their name in there, that they were part of it. Sometimes they just want a little bit of cash. Sometimes they just, whatever is in their head. I don't know. Everybody's kind of different. I think the best way you could see it is that if they need to go get a job, you can refer them and you put a nice recommendation, or you find them a job so they're not left hanging. That would be the best case scenario. Worst case is they want way more and you're going to go to the lawyers to battle this out, and you want to kind of avoid that. So you really want to do the 6-step criteria or 3-step criteria where you'll go through it and you'll be able to achieve that. The reality comes down to how are we going to achieve that, and that is up to you putting this into a process that will work. At the end of the day, those steps will help you. If he does want to battle it out in court, you can just say, listen, we even tried doing this, he didn't want to do it, he gave up a long time ago, I just gave this opportunity there and nothing came out of it. What can I do? I can't help everybody. So take some time, think about what I said, like and comment below, let me know what you think, and of course, subscribe.